Welcome to the Activity Call Live, and now our host, Andy Albright.
Hey guys, we're going to do some marketing today. We're going to do some recruiting today. Welcome to the Activity Call. We got Jessica on here, my media team. We got Patrick, the Duck Hunter Waddell, and Hannah. I'm almost on a honeymoon. I don't know. What's his last name?
Robino. Yeah.
You're going to have to spell that for me. Well, congratulations to both of you and Jessica. God, this is... I got two of me. I can't handle one of me. I got two of me on my screen. All right. So look, nationwide, the people we got on here, we're having really good success by talking to new people. And the way that we've been very successful is it still seems odd to me, DMing people like district manager, but it's direct message. And it just cracks me up how people read direct messages. Kind of like, nobody reads emails anymore, or it doesn't seem like they do. You send them an email, you have to, hey, look, I sent you an email, look for it, because you're not reading all their emails. And now people are a little bit slow on text messaging compared to what they used to be. But on this DM message, people are reading their messages. Now, it's funny because I get the stupidest DMs and I don't look at them because I know what they're about and I'm not interested. But I am interested in making more money. So if somebody sends me a DM that I believe is sincere about helping me make more money, I will contact them. Jessica knows if I get a message from somebody and I think they have a legitimate service, I'll say, Jess, let's look into it. Sometimes I talk to them. So what I've been doing is sending messages. Well, let me correct this. I'm not doing it. You may want to send them yourself, but we hired somebody. Actually, Jessica works with them, and they'll DM 100 a day, Jessica, or is it more? Or Hannah, you might know how many do you think they send it when we turn it on and we say go? How many goes out a day? Any guess?
I would say about 50 to 100.
50 to 100 goes out.
Okay, so we're not saying that you can send one person a message and they will respond and you will recruit them. I think it's the same way when I tell people that I met an Uber driver and I got his number and we're putting him in class. I think people think that that person's going to become a superstar. And I'm going like, no, you don't understand. I talk to everybody I see. And once in a while, somebody starts doing good. It's not a 100%. It's 100 people and get 2 or 3. So if we're sending out, it's kind of like the people that are messaging me now. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. And I'm going like, this person is not watching the show like they're supposed to, but yet they can't figure out why they don't know what they're doing. I'm going to send them a picture of this. Okay, so, but that's a DM. It is a DM message. So we're not doing it on Facebook. We're not DMing people on Facebook. However, if you want to try that, you can try that. Our whole point is that you're sending out, let's go with 100 a day. So we have offered to do that for people, but most people can't afford it, so we're not really going to push it here. If somebody's like, oh, I can afford it, if you can get me the kind of results you're getting, that we know we can get you the results we're getting. Just understand there's a lot of work behind the scenes getting 100 messages a day. And then when you get 3 people respond a day or 2 a day that say they're interested, it's a lot of work to talk to them and get them started. You probably need to even go see them. We're working probably 15 people right now that I say I'm recruiting, but it's more like a team of us recruiting, because it's Patrick and Hannah and myself that are talking to them, traveling to see them, having dinner with them, flying them into the IUL meeting. We've got them coming into the Houston meeting. We've got all kinds of activity in order to get these people going. Now, I kind of want to show you. Yeah, I don't know if I want to show it. I think I'll just draw it out for you. Give me 1 second or less. Our group looks sort of like what we're doing right now, looks sort of like this, Patrick and Hannah. All right. So basically, this is what I call a very flat organization. I put you in it, just make it real. I could put we. This is what we have done, except for one thing. One guy has a friend that he's bringing, and he's talking to his brother. It's not his brother's brother. It's this guy that's talking to his brother, and he has one guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. None of these people are through class. So if you're some of the sharper people out there that are paying attention to this, the difference in this and the organizations I'm looking at, if you put a picture in these, or if you put an income amount in these, all of these people have jobs and they're paying their bills and they're doing pretty good. Versus if you call some of these lists, like insurance agent list, and you've got broke person, you have people that don't have jobs and they don't have income. And now you're working with them and you get frustrated because they're not doing anything, and you seem to be surprised that they're not doing anything. Versus the people that we're going after and that you should be going after, you're going to feel better about talking to them and knowing that they can do it. Once you get them in the system, they're going to be very capable. So Tony Pierce, I want to ask Tony if he's on. I don't expect him to be on live, but I'm on the call. Tony Pierce is a very successful person and very sharp, and needs to be recruiting very successful and sharp people direct him, so that when Tony hires people, if this is Tony, this one look like Tony 30 years ago, young, ambitious, crazy, kind of like when I'm recruiting, I'm not trying to recruit me, and I'm certainly not trying to recruit my mama. I want me and Jane right here, me and Jane right here. I want the young, coming out of NC State, coming out of UNCG. She's a school teacher. I'm an engineer. We're looking for that type of people in each one of these circles. So the first thing we did is we went to Tony's Instagram. Go to his. Will you pull up what his look like, Jessica? And then we'll show you what it looked like. He's a very successful person, and We want him to look successful. We want him to reflect that on Instagram. So whatever your interests are on Instagram, like the first one where Tony has, he has him and some celebrity on there, which I actually know who the celebrity is, but I think I'll tell Tony is, Tony, put your face in there, get that guy out of there. You're a badass. You're very important. And then change it to the wealth accumulation strategist, father, actor, former coach, securing families' futures. Hey, and Jessica, I'd leave it as coach. I wouldn't even put in former. I'd just put in coach, football coach. Put coach with a football. He's a coach. He's still a coach. Okay, so here's what I would do. Okay, Tony's on here. Okay, so Tony's on. All right, so let's go. Here's who Tony needs to DM. He does not have a big social media. You do not need to grow a big social media. What you need to do is recruit people that have jobs and have a decent future. So all you got to do is go to, if Tony, if he wants to do it himself, here's the way we would do it. And again, we don't do this ourselves. We pay people to do it, and you can pay us to do it. But you can go to hashtag where did he say he coached at, Jessica? Well, he had a whole list. Never mind. I got it right here. He coached at Alabama, coached at University of Pittsburgh, West Virginia, and UGA. So let's just do UGA, hashtag UGA, see what comes up. All right. Okay. So if you'll hashtag people, there's a person right there. You see it that good. There you go. That has 4,497 followers. You can send him a DM. My DM would go, first of all, I'm not a UGA person, but Tony Pierce is. So Tony goes on there, and they've got UGA 17, meaning they graduated in 2017. Tony Pierce can send a message and say, hey, UGA grad, congratulations, proud of you. Your social media is looking good. Just send them a compliment and send it. Then send them a second DM that says, looking at your profile, I think you might fit what I'm looking for a deal I've started, a financial deal I've started on the side. If you're open-minded, send. The trick is you've got to do 100 of those a day. It'll take you an hour. I mean, how quick you do it is going to determine everything. Again, like I said, we'll do it, but it's very expensive to pay somebody to do it unless you got a cousin or a daughter or a sister or somebody that you could talk into DMing 100 messages a day. When they respond back, so you can pay somebody to send that message, pay somebody to find all the profiles for you, but when they start answering back, you've got to be there to answer back. All right. To keep from rambling, I'm looking if people have questions or comments. Comments from Hannah. Comments from Patrick. Go ahead, Hannah. What comments do you have about this?
So I would say one big thing that I think you brushed over, but I think it's important for people to know is that when we're sending out the direct messages, like we hired a team that's doing that for you. It is actually you then responding. So let's say I send a message to Jessica trying to get her. I send that message exactly what you said, but I hired Sally to do that. Sally sends that message to Jess, but when Jess responds, I then take over. And so you, as the person who it's coming from your account, you need to be the one that's responding back. So whatever that initial message that goes out, it needs to sound like your voice. It needs to sound like what you would normally say in a conversation, along with Andy's guidelines, that's to get them interested. But then you, Andy, are taking the time to respond to each individual person when they initially respond back. So I think that's huge. I've had a lot of people asking that question, like, is that team then continuing to respond and then getting them in front of you? No, Andy is the one who's taking the conversation from there.
True that. Okay. Patrick, any thoughts on it? What I'm missing, leaving out?
Yeah, absolutely. So Hannah touched on a good point about making it sound like yourself. So one thing that I heard a lot at Breakthrough and I continue to hear is people pull me to the side. They say things like, well, I don't have the following that Andy does. I don't have the private jet that Andy does. So that's why he's able to do it. I'm not able to do it. Well, yeah, where you do have that, but the difference is Andy's not a guitar player. Andy's not a former military people. So you got to remember that you can reach out to people in your network. Andy has a network that fits his lifestyle, but you have a that fits your lifestyle. So if you're a military person, make it talk about military. Don't talk about Andy's private jet out at the beginning. You want to make it sound real and want to be on the same level of the people that you're targeting.
So if you're a UGA coach, UGA football player, you played at Northern Illinois, you're a tennis player, you're looking for societies, you're looking for groups that play tennis, that groups of people that graduated from NC State, and you're direct messaging 100 of those people. Start with a compliment, then send them a second message that says, are you interested? Are you open to business? They say yes. What's it about? Then you got to be ready to hit them with another message. So I'm helping a couple people that are texting me and they're like, what would you say back to this? And I'm giving them information. The key thing is you've got to get them on the phone as soon as possible. So my favorite message is, I'm free right now for 5 minutes that you can give me a buzz. And I text them or DM them my phone number. Then I send them another DM that has only my phone number in it. And then I say, or you can text me and we will figure out a time to get 5 minutes together. So it's 3 quick messages. The first one is, call me right now. I'm available. And I give them my cell phone number. Then I send them another message, DM, that's just my phone number. Then I say, or text me when you got a minute. Interesting, a lot of people will dial me right then and my phone will start ringing. Sometimes I can pick up, sometimes I can't. I like to pick up, start talking to them. Where do you live? I see you're in whatever. If they're a UGA person, I go, hey, congratulations, you graduated UGA. If they're a soccer player, I'm like, hey, where did you play? Where'd you play in high school? Where did you grow up? So I'm basically trying to get to know them as quick as possible. What we're developing with all these people that we're talking to is relationships. We're trying to get to know them as friends and pull them into our network. As far as people say, well, how do you sell them on what we do? Well, first of all, I think you're a moron. I mean, you'd have to be absolutely just completely stupid not to understand the opportunity here. The trick is, how do I get them to understand? It's not how I sell them on it. It's how I get them to understand how powerful this is. It's kind of like if you're trying to sell a person on how great a banana tastes or how bad a banana tastes. You don't know how a banana tastes until you taste one. You can say it's mushy. It's got a different sort of a flavor. You just start talking, it's not going to work. So with us, what we're doing is pulling people in to be a part of who we are. So they actually get to taste the alliance. For example, get them to come to a meeting in Dallas, get them to come to a meeting in Fort Lauderdale, get them to come to a meeting wherever I'm traveling or wherever I have people. I'm trying to get that person, whoever this is, whichever one I'm trying to get that person to a meeting around other Alliance people as fast as possible. Sometimes the Alliance people is us flying to them and having dinner with them, sitting down with them, chatting with them, hopefully introducing them to other Alliance people. Because until this person catches the atmosphere of the Alliance, it's going to be hard for them to get them started. So we've got these people in class, and they're getting through class, and they're gradually getting to know us, gradually catching on to the culture of the Alliance, but they're quality people. I almost want to do a separate one. Like a lot of people, when I see their recruits, I look them up on social media, and I'm like, "Whoo, man! I don't think they got a job, or I don't." You're looking for people that are productive in society to bring them in. If you're working to a dozen people that are just not that talented, then once you get them in, you're going to have not that talented people. It'd be like if you're a basketball coach and you're recruiting everybody that's as tall as Jessica, right? And then all of a sudden they get fired up about the basketball, and they're like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm committed. And how tall are you, Jessica?
5'3".
That's 5'3", you know? And I'm over here recruiting Brandon Beal and, Robbie Kraft, and we're playing basketball. Well, Robbie ain't interested, and Brandon ain't interested, and Jessica's not interested. But when Jessica gets interested and they get interested, it's two different games of basketball. If you can get that, if you get that understanding about your business, the more talented people that you get involved in the business, then eventually when they do get interested in it, you have a much better team to put on the field. And the coach looks good when the players are good. Players are terrible. Coach looks terrible because they think you just can't coach. It's funny because some managers come to me and they go like, look, my team sucks. What do I do? And I go, you need to rethink how you're recruiting. You're recruiting a terrible team, and then you're telling me that your team looks terrible like it's my fault. I like it when they blame the company, like the leads, or they blame NAA, or they blame Robbie Kraft, or they blame me. And I'm going like, look, dude, you recruited those people. Those people that you recruited is who you recruited. So maybe this time you recruit a higher quality people. And then that comes back to how do we do it? Well, I think that if you start DMing the right people and send out hundreds of these messages, Tony Pierce, you will recruit a different looking team. Now, I got to tell you, it is work. If you're looking for the lottery ticket, or if you're looking the easy way out, meeting people, Uber drivers, meeting people at a grocery store is work. Calling your friends is work. But once you've called all your friends, you've got to decide, are you going to run an advertisement, and then people that answer it? Like I see people running it, call me if you want to secure a financial future, and they're putting it up on their Facebook. And I'm like, I would never call that. But if you contact the right people, and they respond, now you're working with a different quality of a person that answers these advertisements. And that's until you see it. I'm trying to explain to you how a banana tastes. Also, I'm going like, guys, you're talking to people that are answering ads. It's not the same people if you direct message people that are involved in another industry, that are working, they're making money, they're making 80 grand, they're making 100,000, and you get them interested. Now you've got a higher quality person that you can bring into the organization. Jess, what am I leaving out?
I would say too, when people ask about social media in terms of like what it should look like, I think they're missing a big part, is that the intent of social media is in the name. It's meant to be social. So Instagram, in overall terms is a communication platform. So when you're sending those DMs too, I just want to make sure people understand why you're doing this, is that when you're sending the one complimenting them, you're finding what's similar to you both. So when Andy says like, your social media looks great, he can relate to that. I would say he can relate to that because his social media looks great. So they are connecting on that, or he's recognizing people that are in an industry and saying, hey, I've seen your page, just making that connection to who they are instead of some generic message that might look like a bot or not like a real message. And then when he adds his phone number to that second message, he's doing that so people can copy and paste it easily instead of just copying the whole message and deleting it. It's just one step less that they have to do, and one more step likely that they will end up messaging you. And then when he says about basically like, I have 5 minutes now if you want to talk, that gives people a little more sense of urgency to connect with him, but also, again, making sure people know this is a real person. Like, this is my number, message me. If you can't talk, let's still get in contact, because his goal is to get them on the phone. So whether that be them messaging right away, calling right away, he's going to get their number either way.
All right. So it's funny because people have a million questions. So I know they're not getting it yet. So I'm going to say, if you have questions that you can message me or Jess or Hannah, it's if you've got questions about it and we can answer them now. Let's say briefly, I don't want to pitch this because we can't handle too many people, but we've got, how many people are we starting to do this for, Jessica?
About 5.
We've got 5 people that we're doing it for, because it's $1,000 a week. We will improve your Instagram, we'll improve your Facebook, and we'll DM like 500 or 600 people a week for you, and you will have quality candidates. So if you think you can do that yourself, you can try it. And I hope you do. I hope we have 100 people start DMing people. And by the way, if they're your friend and you have their phone number, call them. The only reason I am DMing these people is because I do not have their phone number. Once I have their phone number, we talk on the phone, we text, we're friends. As a matter of fact, there's like 5 or 6 of them right now I've got to get back to. Toom wants to meet us. Yeah, he wants to meet us somewhere in November. So I'm thinking we meet him in Albuquerque, and then we, maybe take him to a couple more cities and just introduce him to the whole program. Colton's bringing somebody down with him?
Colton and Jake.
Is Jake his friend or Jake his brother?
So they're friends. They're partners in the solar business together.
But we had already been recruiting Jake, right?
Yeah, we came across Jake through social media, but also on that team with Ian.
Jake wasn't his? I was talking to him and his roommate at the same time.
Yeah, that's them. That's Colton and Jake.
Oh, so they actually are roommates.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of knew that, and I kind of did. So but I was talking to him almost at the same time, but Colton's the first one we got to meet us somewhere, right?
No, this will be our first time meeting Colton and Jake in Florida at the IUL event. Well, you were going to meet them last week in Cali, but y'all's schedules did not match up.
Okay, I think I'm confusing the other guy that's that we're messaging a lot that lives in Orlando.
That's Colby.
You're thinking about Colby.
Colby. So there's a Colby and a Colton.
Yeah.
And then Toom is now talking to Colby.
Yeah.
And Toom wants to meet us in November.
Correct.
And when are we turning it back on where we're starting to send DMs back out again?
We're sending them out it actually starts up the 23rd, so this Sunday.
We need help. We need more people to talk to these people. It's a good problem to have when most people are trying to find they're trying to find somebody to talk to that's sharp, and we've got a good 20 people that we're communicating with, and we're narrowing it down. Like, let's say we're talking to 12. 3 of them are way better than the next 9. So these 12 are better than the next 10 that are kind of messaging. And then there's 1,000 people that we really just have no real link to. We maybe sent them a message. They might have hit a thumbs up or cool, but we never got a number. So we got 1,000 sharp as hell people that we're sending a message to. Let's say 50 answered back and said, I'm interested. Then we ended up getting 25 phone numbers. Then we ended up on the phone with 15 of them. And then 12 of them were actually, had decent conversations with. And it just keeps, so it's like you got a funnel of 1,000 and you're coming down to the ones that are interested. The difference is I see people talking to not 1,000, but they talk to 60 people and that funnel narrows down to this one person. The problem is the original material, the original hype, the original education of the people filters down, and you get one person interested, but you didn't have a lot of good people to talk to start with. So by searching hashtags, you can, once you get on it, you'll understand how, well, I say you will, hopefully you will. We got on and we found, like if you want to recruit somebody in a certain city, if you went to a non-denominational church in that city and typed in hashtag, the name of that church, if you can find that church, and then they've got 10,000 people that are on Instagram, you can look through the Instagram people, the ones that you might want to talk to that look younger, that look sharper, that look like they're ambitious. And a lot of people say you can't judge looks. Well, you kind of can if you say, like, I think this person's young and sharp and ambitious. You click on it, you see what their Instagram says, mortgage sales, car sales, real estate. You hit that person with a message, with a compliment. They're in St. Pete, or they're in Dallas. So now you can hit them a compliment about their social media, about how their work is going. Then hit them a message, said, if you're open, I'm coming to Dallas. I live in Dallas. I live here on Treasure Island. So what you're doing is you're trying to establish a relationship that you might have a business that they might be interested in. What do you think, Hannah? Am I getting through?
I think you're being very conservative on our numbers. Just
what do you mean?
Track a lot of that. So like our funnel, I think the whole them responding to the direct message thing. If we've messaged, let's say 1,000 people, you've personally contacted and have phone numbers to 160 of those people. We're working with and have connections with about 40, and then there's the top 15. There's a lot. So like thinking about like if we're going to start this back up, like we definitely can, but I'm just saying for people who are considering this, if you're sending out 50 to 100 messages a day, like it's a gold mine. It's going to produce results. We've seen that firsthand. And I think we're sitting on a new strategy that a lot of people could benefit from. Just looking at the numbers, it's incredible. And one thing I will say too, I had a great conversation out in Indy. We were talking about how a lot of the times if somebody has recruited somebody, they typically, the trend is, if you look at your hierarchy, the trend is if you're making 100,000, you're going to hire a person making 80. And if you hire that person who's making 80,000, they're going to hire somebody who's making 60. And the funnel goes down in the quality of people. Most people, it's kind of like what we just experienced at Breakthrough. It's a mindset from here to here. And most people don't take the leap to reach out to higher networks and to reach out to higher people. So through this recruiting campaign, it becomes personal really quick in the way that you're DMing, but it's also an incredible tool, a social communication to where you can reach out to networks that you don't normally have in your personal social life. So somebody like myself, if I was to go and recruit a team, I can go ahead and tap into, I was a lacrosse player, somebody who's taken that far and has a, $500,000 a year job. It takes that safety zone away. So I can reach into those platforms. And if I hire that person, I'm going to coach them to do the exact same thing. And so our networks just get larger and larger and larger. And that's what we've seen with this tool. I mean, we've seen it with Colby and his guy that he's connected to, that he's bringing on, is Justice. And Justice's team is 10 times bigger than Colby's. But he has that mindset to go for the next big pond. And so you want to take steps forward versus shrinking yourself in the recruiting aspect.
So it is crazy. The numbers are staggering when you say it like that. So you think I got 160 phone numbers?
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Holy cow. So we're truly working a funnel of a couple thousand down to 160, down to the 15 that we're really connecting with. It's a lot of work, a lot of follow-up to get people started. I think hopefully our two new recruiters, Nick and Chanel, are watching. They've put in about 15. I'm going to talk to them today. They've put in about probably 32 people they've put in class, maybe even 40 people that they've put in class. And they're trying to work through with them. Hopefully they get to stop putting in and make sure they're taking time to build those relationships, to start putting people under them, driving depth, going to meet them, pulling them into the whole system of the company, not just putting them in. Because if all we did is we got 160 phone numbers and we talked to 160 or text 160, put 15 in class, woohoo, that means nothing. We've got to follow through to pull them all the way into the system, into the company, and build another relationship, which takes a lot of emotion, takes a lot of time, takes energy, takes money. But that is essentially what we're doing. It's how we've built the business. So I'm working on dates. Now, this is one of them. I want to meet Toom. I think I want to meet him in Albuquerque and then take him to Dallas with us or whatever that system. So, okay. So let's do this. It's a little off subject, but it's critical because I've got people watching that have great networks. If I meet somebody, like for example, take Colby. Here would be my preference is we take Colby and we say, Colby, here's what you need to do. Colby, you need to tell us, you need to go start talking to your friends and you need to find 12 of your friends that you think are the most influential. Not DM, not run an ad on social media, just hire them direct to you. Then as you talk to them, the top three, move the top three over in this direction. You say, this is 1, 2, and 3, the most interested, the most committed. Then what we do is you help 1, 2, and 3. Show you how this looks. So this is a person that has influence and don't need to DM in person. I'll say, Colby, here's what you do now. You take 1, 2, and 3. And your job is to get 1, 2, and 3 and start hiring people for them. So you're 12, the first 3. So you take these top 3 people, break them out, pull them over to the side, and put 12 people underneath each of those 3 people. Now what you've got this 12 plus, call it 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now what you've got 26 or 28 people, and you're looking for 5 or 6 good ones. So you filtered, you got 300 friends. You had 300 friends. You've put 12 of them in class, the best 12, the most interested. Then the best 3, our goal is to go take those 3 and go 3 wide or 6 wide or 12 wide with those 3. And then same thing again, the best 2 here. Take the best 2 here, the best 2 here, the best 2 here, and do it again and keep going deep. So it's not complicated, but I know people from how many people I talk to, they get hung up with, I got these 12 in class and I'm waiting for them to get through class. I'm waiting for them to start making money. And I'm going, that is not what you do. What you want to do is immediately go to them. So that's our plan with Colton and Jake, is immediately, how do we get Jake another person? How we get Colton another person? Immediately with Colby, we got his brother. Maybe we go with Toon, but what we say is, who else do we know? I think he's put, I think he's put 2 or 3 people already in class just from meeting people, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Just out and about. He was talking to a guy at AutoZone, or talking to a lady at AutoZone. He's talked to a guy at the Verizon store. So just people meeting out. It's the Uber drivers.
Don't he have like 8,000 people on his Instagram? What I'm starting to think is that our next list is hitting his Instagram and going wide under his Instagram, messaging people. Why not? If he's got 10,000 people and they're sharp as him, that's the group we need to go for to put the 12 in under him. Or if he'll call 12 and put them in class, if he don't want to call or don't have 12 to call, then we can go the DM route. The whole deal is to get deep. Getting wide, the only reason you get wide is to have options of who to go deep under. So you pick out the 3 easiest to go deep under. And God, what's the girl from Columbia that's coming in to Fort Lauderdale?
Angela.
And then the girl that sells cars, Mrs. K. Kinsey. Are you still messaging back with her? Active conversation? Because I think she's one. She's in Dallas or Houston?
She is in Houston, and I love this, Andy. You should probably send her a message and comment. She was sitting at her nephew's softball game, and she had her tablet out and was studying for her course while she was at her nephew's softball game. So like when people are like, well, how do I know if they're sharp people or if they're ambitious? You can tell by their social media, because you can tell what they're posting. She literally was commenting that she needed to study, and so she was going to make it happen. And she posted that on her story on Instagram. So I thought that was really cool.
Are we in Houston coming out? Yeah, we are, because that's where AIG meeting is.
Yeah. So she's
got that day reserved on her calendar.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I hope we are getting through to people. I'm probably going to please send questions now, not immediately after this show. Start sending me messages. I'm like, I could have told everybody. So if you got questions about your Instagram, about what to message, what to answer back, I will be glad to answer you back right now. Other than that, we need to get to work.
Can I ask a question to Jess real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so people have been asking, and this is like I'm asking you as in, is it important or is it not? They're wanting to know the secret sauce to engagement on social media. I get that question a lot, like when we're traveling and seeing people. So like, how many times should I be posting? Is that important to focus on? And if so, what's the secret sauce? What's the magic combination?
Yeah, that's a good question. So yes, it is important if you have someone that you're messaging, that they're going to go to your profile to see who you are. And if you have things on there that isn't very classy or professional or doesn't give a good picture of who you are, they're not going to be interested to talk to you. So what I like to tell people, just to keep it very simple, is when they're posting, you need to think about what's the intent of this post. You can post every day, but if you're just posting random things without a intention or purpose, then it's just wasting time. So I focus on 3 content pillars for everyone who wants to post on their own. Also, side note, we are offering our services. So if you're interested in using us to do this, just send me a message, email me, any way that you want to. But 3 content pillars would be like basically the have fun part of our motto. So the lifestyle, the traveling. You can use amppics.com. We have all our photos from all our events. Utilize that. Use what we have. Another one is the make money part. Show how you're successful. You don't even have to, you can put your numbers. I know a lot of people do put like their art commissions, but if you're showing how successful you are, people are going to want to know why or like how you're doing it. And then the last part, make a difference. So like even a lot of people post like with their clients, how they're saving people for their financial futures. You can put that, or even like the family aspect. You want to make sure you're a well-rounded person. You're not just focusing on one aspect of this. You can post all business, but if they don't see that you're an actual person with a family or friends or interests, then they're not going to see you for who you are. That also ties back into those bios. So like when we're updating these people's bios, yes, we're putting like financial services and infinite banking, be your own banker, but we're also putting like what you're interested in. So like, for instance, Jose Compton, he likes to do ATVs. So we put that in there. For like Belle Krause, she's a veteran. Share that. Make yourself seem like a well-rounded individual. So then when they look at you, they can also see where you guys are similar. So I hope that helps kind of break down. That's like the very basics of it, but yes, make sure that you're showing who you are and why someone should want to be connected to you. Yeah. I do want to also touch base on the follow-up messaging. So Andy's reaching out to a lot of people with big followings. So what they're doing also, our team, is they're liking people's posts so people can see the notifications. So they see Andy like 6 of their photos, and also sending a comment oftentimes in one of their posts saying, hey, sent you a message or sent you a DM, check it out. So then they know like to check out for Andy because Andy is interested in talking to him. And then as you can see just from what we're talking about, there's a lot of follow-up to this. So even if someone doesn't instantly respond back, Andy's still hitting them with messages, like following up like a few weeks later saying like, hey man, what's up? Not just leaving it high and dry. So these people that you're messaging, if they don't respond, they're not complete lost potential. Keep on following up with them. And then Hannah and Patrick are really good at communicating with Andy. Like, here's the things about this person that you should know. So when you jump on this call or you're following up, this is what you guys can talk about. So it's a lot of getting to know someone and a lot of follow through.
So here's the question, and this kind of makes a good point. It says, is it the same for LinkedIn? I get so many people wanting to recruit me or sell me leads. They want 15 minutes. I have almost 30,000 connections. So we need to redo my profile. So let me say to this person, if I send that lead sales or trying to recruit you to 1,000 people, Jan, 2 or 3 of them say yes, maybe 5. So you are not responding, but somebody is. So they're going to send you one and another 100 and then another 100 and then another 100. Now, I don't know about LinkedIn. We're not using LinkedIn. Do you have an opinion, Jessica, on direct messaging on LinkedIn versus Instagram?
So, yeah, each platform is going to have a slightly different audience. So for us, the reason why we're doing Instagram, because this is the audience we're looking for. They're the Aidens and Alice's. LinkedIn is still a good platform. It's a more professional business setting. So this connection of just shooting a DM, a more personal note, doesn't apply to LinkedIn. So for instance, like even when you're posting content, what you post on Instagram should not be what you post on LinkedIn, because it's a completely different audience, completely different attention. But for what we're doing, our audience for like the most use of our time to be most productive is where we're seeing results is Instagram, because that's the people that we see with these companies that we're looking for, like solar. If you see all their bios, they all say that because that's where they're promoting themselves to.
Okay. You tell me, this is what it seems like to me.
Okay.
The people on LinkedIn are older and more corporate-y.
Yes.
They're more jobby, corporate-y, not going to kill it in insurance sales.
Right.
I don't think you're going to see. I don't think you're going to see cell phone salespeople in LinkedIn. I don't think you're going to see solar sales in LinkedIn. I don't think you're going to see car sales, pest control. I don't think you're going to see hustlers in LinkedIn. People, and this sounds like contradiction because I'm in LinkedIn, but I'm not active in it. And I get inundated with messages in LinkedIn, but I don't get inundated in Instagram at all. I shouldn't say at all. I'm not your, what is it? I can make you famous. I can get you 20,000 followers. All you got to pay me $100. I get that message, but I don't get people trying to recruit me to sell real estate. I don't get people recruit me to sell insurance. I'm not getting recruited there. So what I see that is a blue ocean. It's wide open right now for direct messaging because people are not using it that much. Is that fair what I'm saying, Jessica?
1000%. And with your audience too, like they're on Instagram. They're posting their content, so it's easier to get communication with someone that way too. The messages you get on LinkedIn are basically like people's paid messages that you get, and if you see them, they're not personal. We don't respond to them because there's not messages that we're interested in. So if you're trying to find someone who would be in the business, it'd be way easier to find them on Instagram.
Yeah, I am. Now, this person's showing me their Instagram, and it is, I'll call it weak because there's one picture post, but in a week, we could have it looking awesome. In a week. And in a week from now, we could start messaging 1,000 people, and you would have sharp people to talk to recruit into your business. And the way I've looked at it, I've said this, I think I've said this 1,000 times, but at Breakthrough, a lot of people were coming up to me saying they hadn't heard this. I'm spending money to buy an agent, just like I would spend if I put down $20,000 to buy a house and borrow $80,000 to buy a house. I'm going to spend $20,000 for an agent. Now, listen to this. If you wrote a check for $100,000 for a house, the most you're going to rent it for is $500 a month. But if you borrow $80,000 and write a check for $20,000, after your mortgage payment, you're only making $100 a month on real estate. So you spend $20,000 to get $100 a month coming in, or $150. So if you spend $50,000 to buy an agent, it's a good deal. But if you spend $50,000 and get 10 houses or 10 agents that are like a house, oh my God, you've bought $1 million worth of real estate for $50,000. You're making the same amount off of those 10 agents that you would make off of 10 houses that you paid $100,000 a piece. Like, I'm not kidding. It's this what I did in the beginning, and it's what I continue to do now. It's what I'm selling. Brandon, my son-in-law, I'm selling him on spending money and traveling. And just the same amount of money that you would buy 10 houses and you get $1 million worth of real estate completely paid off if you'll go to these agents. So, Patrick, you've said to me, should I go see that person? Now, do you know the answer now? What the answer is?
Absolutely.
You should already be there. You should
Right.
be going tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's Saturday. Okay, Sunday. Well, Sunday. Monday's Monday. Did you know Monday was Monday? People go like, do you know Monday was Monday? Or do you know Saturday was Saturday? I'm like, I don't care. I'm trying to get that business up and going so I can make a percentage of it. Does that make sense? Like, you can either wait 2 months or go today. If you could flip the switch, you follow. In other words, like, oh my God, I'm looking at my calendar going, geez, how many of these people can I get to right now? So, and I will tell you, Patrick, when I had your residual income, you wouldn't even know that I liked NC State. I wouldn't have an NC State shirt on, would go to a game until I made millions. I just wouldn't do it because I was determined to live like I lived. You with me? And I traveled, ask Jane, I traveled all the time. Because what I was doing is I was spending money getting that. I have more than $1 million worth of real estate, and meaning agents. I have more than $1 million worth of agents. I got maybe, call it $200 million worth of agents. Because if I had $200 million invested in real estate, I would be making about the same amount of money I'm making now. Does that make sense? 200, it's more, it may be closer to 300 million worth of real estate to make the same amount of money that I make in overrides. Does that make sense? So what I'm telling Brandon to do is go, go, go. And I'm saying, if Haley will go with you, great. If Haley wants to do her thing, great. But your thing to build that network as fast as possible. Does that make sense, Patrick?
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, but I'm telling Jan, I'm saying this to Jan and everybody else. Right now, you have a window. We have mortgage protection leads, final expense leads. We've got these internet leads that are just bizarre. We're rolling out a new internet lead. I think it'll be out. I think it'll be out October 31st. So starting November 1, it'll be cheaper and better than any lead we've ever had. So these people that are out there, mortgage interest rates are going up. Real estate agents are suffering. Car salespeople, they can't get cars to sell. It's so many things out there. Bankers are struggling. So many different people are struggling. We got an opportunity that we can put them in something that had instant success. That's what I think about that Kinsey girl. I know the money she's making. She could make more money the first month with us. I mean, she's doing good. Like I said, she's making 6 figures, but she could make more than 6 figures day one with us with the amount of hustle she has in her.
Absolutely.
So we got to get to her. Like, I know we're going to see her in 1,
2 weeks,
2, 3 weeks. I know we're going to see her in 3 weeks. But if we could get to her today, if we get to her to Monday, and what if Monday you could get out there and you could get her 6 people or 3 people? What if you found out she's got friends in Dallas and she's got friends in Albuquerque? Now we're going to see, what if she's got friends in Fort Lauderdale? But it's us getting involved in that relationship and just working it. Like we have something to work. Now we need to work. Does that make sense? It was a lot of work getting this. Think about when we first started. It was like, oh God, if any of these people going to reply back, and then finally started replying back. And then is any of them going to answer with text me? Then they started texting me. Then is any of them going to pick up the phone? And then is any of them going to be nice and receptive? And now I just thought about that couple in New York. God, so frustrating that we can't get them. We can't fly them down. Go see them in person. Does that make sense, Patrick? Like I'm saying, book. Say again.
Yeah, I was talking to Malcolm yesterday about hopefully. He said for sure with his work schedule this week is not a possibility, but the following week, looking at meeting them back in New York. Michelle's out of town, but
she is out of town.
She's out of the country until November 9th, I believe.
But you going up there before and just meet with him, you're saying that's a possibility.
Correct.
And I'm saying yes. You know what it'd be like? I don't know. You think of these movies where somebody's almost, it'd be like winning the lottery and then losing the ticket. We'd be like, damn it, we had the ticket right there. So it's like I see Kenzie as the ticket. I see Malcolm as a ticket. I see Colby as a ticket. And I'm like, we got to get that ticket and we got to get it to the lottery office and we got to get it cashed in. Does that make sense? Like, I think people miss, I think you see it when you're talking to me, but I don't think they get my passion for how important Kenzie is or how important Malcolm and Jashelle are. Like, they're just so important to me. I think when people see a brand new house and they're going like, I think I'm going to get this house. And I'm just hoping I'm going to get it. And I'm like, it's a house. But they're so excited about it. Or if they bid on a house and they get it, I mean, it's almost like, I'm going to get that house. If you could get on top of my house, I think you see a lot I just bought. It's a lot with a little bitty house on it, 1.2 million. Okay. I'm never going to be friends with this lot and this little house. I'm going to make $2,000 a month, $4,000 a month off of it. Woohoo! Yes, I'm excited about it. But compared to Kenzie, compared to Malcolm, I'm willing to pay you. I'm willing to go. I was willing to miss. No NC State basketball, no NC State football, hey, I'm getting ready to cuss, so get your mind right. Everybody gets mad at cuss. No television. I skipped television, which is weird for me. You have no idea. No television. I would just go. So I'm telling you, if you book that Malcolm thing, book it. Find out when he's going to be there and go. And try to find another one of these people that we're missing. And then find out if Malcolm knows anybody in Dallas and Albuquerque, all these places we're going to, Mississippi. Hannah, go get married, go on your honeymoon, and then get your butt back here and start traveling after these people.
Yes, sir.
Oh, shoot. These things like honeymoons and weddings. I've got one next week I got to deal with, right? I'm so excited. You can see I'm so excited. I really am. Is it next week? Not next week, the week after.
Yeah, we're 1 week apart.
So what day you get married?
I'm getting married the 27th and Spencer's the 5th.
Spencer's November 5th.
Yep.
Well, I'm so happy for y'all. Do you know where you can you say where you're going on honeymoon, or is that thing you're not supposed to talk about?
I am going to Kauai for a week and then to Maui.
Cool. I don't think Spencer's told us where he's going.
He's keeping it top secret. He's surprising Meredith, which I think is really sweet.
Cool.
Cool
deal. While on the honeymoon, you should be recruiting.
Hey,
this one.
We'll get a team built out in Kauai, and I'll just be the one that goes back and forth.
Oh, that's not a terrible idea.
I mean,
it's kind of like Fort Lauderdale. We're doing an IUL extravaganza in Fort Lauderdale. I ain't like I picked that as a, And then we got another contest going on with CFG where people come down to Treasure Island. Not a terrible program. Let me announce this. We're going to do a leadership in Seattle.
ooh.
So yeah, I know I need to get on that. Tia, you're listening. I need the statistics. I need the math on that, because what's happened is we spent money 3 years ago there and we've already spent it. We can't get it back. Got to use it. I love this business. It's different than buying a piece of real estate and just looking at it and making money off of it. You build up, you get Kenzie started, you start a network. Kenzie will know people in Seattle. She'll know people in Florida. She'll know people in New York. And you start building that network, and it's like you own a community, it's like you own, if you're Monopoly. First, you buy these properties, then you put houses on them, then you put multiple houses, then you put hotels on them. So it's the same concept. We're buying raw land with all this DMing work. We're buying raw land and then we're developing it. Y'all see, I mean, I'm excited for you that you see the money coming in the way we've set up the incentive for you. But it's just, and I know you want it now. Okay. Me too. I want it now for you. The only way we can get it now is quit waiting. And we do have things that we got to do now that we got to wait. But if we don't have something we got to wait, then let's go. But money's not an issue because we can print more money. We just sell more insurance. We have more money, right? So I would say this too. Those of you that know how to print money like Jan, if you want to be talking to 100 sharp people, invest the money, and me and Jessica and team will get this thing up and running. Hold on, let me get a couple of them. You talk while I'm reading these questions, Jessica.
Okay. Basically for social media, I was thinking about this. It is now considered, and it always has been, but more so now than ever, it is a search engine. So when you're looking up these hashtags, you're basically searching just for that one person that can make a big difference. So when you're searching for hashtags, like for instance, we touched briefly, like you can type in military veterans if that's in your background, but also you can look up locations, you can look up businesses. Like make sure when you're using the search bar and looking for hashtags, you can use as many that you think are relevant to what you're interested in and the type of people you're looking for. And then when you find a good profile and you get connected, you can see the people that's on their following list. You can see that if they're in a similar business or if they're surrounding themselves with sharp-minded individuals, those people are good to reach out to. Like it just never ends. You should never feel like you're running out of people to look for or communicate with because there's so many people on social media. So make sure that you just know the type of person you're looking for and just keep on searching if you're not going to use our services, of course. And then I will say too, Jack also put in the lab chat, and we'll put it in the Facebook group. I have just like a one-page straightforward ABCs of social media. If you have no idea and you can't use our services just because of the pricing, which is okay. Basically, that is like a one sheet, one guide to how to start making your Instagram account. So it just goes to the basics of like making your account a professional account. You can do that through settings. So then you can search your insights, which show you what people like to see and what they don't like to see and what resonated. So if you see a post that did really well according to that, then you know to keep making content similar to that. So we have one sheet there, and also he has added a podcast on there. It is just about personal branding. It's just 1 hour. It goes through the basics. So if you're just really lost still on like what to post, that's a good starting point to listen to while you're running appointments to where your messaging should lie.
Jessica, people are sending me accounts. They say, what do you think my account is? And it's private. I don't follow people. So I would say if you want to be in business, go public. Unprivate your Instagram, correct?
1000%. Turn it on public and then turn it on professional mode.
So make it public, Frank. And also click on professional mode. Yes. And with your money, Frank, I can tell you how to create. If you've got money, like if you've got a good job or you got a good way to create money, I can show you how to take that money and create a multi-million-dollar revenue. I can show you how to create $200,000 a month coming in. If you've got money and you can invest, I can show you how to do it. Now, don't get me wrong. When you invest, you still got a ton of work to do, but you can't do it all. You're going to need a secretary. You'd be incredible if you could have an assistant to help you with recruiting, not be a recruiter. It's an assistant helping you recruit. If you're just going to turn it over to them, it will not work. But if they're helping you, so you need a secretary, you need an assistant recruiter, and you need to pay for this social media marketing so that all you're doing is talking to high quality people and recruiting. So let me I know I told you I wasn't going to get 100 people, Jess, and I'm not, because I'll just say no because it's too much. But what we do is for 1,000 a week, we will take care of your Instagram, make it look way better every single week. It'll grow, and your Facebook every single week will grow. 100% guaranteed. Dumb as dirt. We know how to do it. It'll grow for 100, and you will get super sharp people DMing you back saying, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I'm interested. Yes, I'm interested. What is this about? How does this work? How did you find my name? And when they start saying, how did you find my name? What's this about? Can you tell me more? Boom, yeah. That's what I was getting is, I don't understand what's this about. And I would answer back. I'd say, well, this is about Be Your Own Banker. This is about Infinity Banking Program. This is about financial future, creating a legacy. Shoot me a note and I'll give you a high level description. Give them my phone number. Like, I'm constantly on them about getting their phone number, but I would give them a little bit of an answer back about what we do. I'm not trying to sell it on DM. All I'm trying to do is pique their curiosity so that I get their phone number, so that then we start talking to them and build that relationship. And y'all hear us talking about Kelsey or Kenzie and Malcolm and Jashelle and Colton. These are people that we're building relationships with. We keep saying their name so we can keep it out in front of us. As a matter of fact, you need to shoot me that spreadsheet of everybody we're keeping up with, and let me look through it, because I guarantee you there's some that we're letting fall through the cracks. I'm excited to turn it back on, but I'm also going, God, I just don't want to lose who we've got. I'm teetering. And then with you going absentee for 2 weeks, I'm like, oh my God, Patrick, you'll have to pick up the pace.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long 2 weeks.
We also should consider is just bringing in Nick or Chanel, because it's just so much, and they're such good people. Meaning the people that we're talking to and Nick and Jashelle are good. All right. I'm slowing down, getting questions. So yes, it's 1,000 a week, and it's not a 50-week commitment either. It's just, if $1,000, if you ain't happy, quit paying it. Or if you need to stop, we can stop and start back up. That's what we had to do. And by the way, we paid $1,500. We paid a lot of money to figure out how to do this. Way more than 1,000 a week. Way more. Way more. So, so if you go 3 weeks and you're just inundated with quality people, you already got quality people starting, you stop the program. If we can continue on with the social media part once you've got a lot of people messaging, but we could stop DMing for you. Like I said, I can't handle a lot. Okay. All right. What else, Patrick?
One of the things I was going to say is, one thing to remember is, once you get that phone number and once you create that first relationship, don't be afraid to get personal with them. One thing Andy's really good at is, and Hannah does a good job as well, is just sending photos of what you're doing in the business world. Don't always make it just very, very business oriented. Be personable with these people. Create a relationship. If you're just business all the time, you sound like you're selling them, you're going to lose them. They're being sold by 100 people. So you got to be personable with them, let them know who you are, learn about them on a personal level as well.
Can you give an example of it's kind of tough to do it, but just can you try to say high level, but what do you mean about personal?
So we'll use Colby, for example. Yesterday I shot Colby a quick video of what my day looked like yesterday, working on my spreadsheet, talking with people. He shot me a video back of him getting a root canal. It's small things, but those are building our relationship as friends, which are going to grow in this business.
Yeah, it is. The more you can get into a person's heart, the more you can get into their head. Meaning, like I feel like me and Jessica have a good connection. I talk about her. We're friends. We talk about life, and we talk about growing the business a lot. But the more that, and the same thing with Hannah and Patrick, the more friends we are, the more I try to do good for them. They're trying to do good for me. The more you do that, the more we do that with Kenzie and Colby and Malcolm, the more we can get interactive with them where we care about them and they care about us. They will try to succeed to make us happy. So we are trying to hire them and get them making money to make them happy. So it's that connection of people that I feel is different with the people that succeed and the people that have complaints about their upline. I think their upline is just putting them in class, or they're just saying, how's your sales going? Let me know if I need you. There's no deep interaction. So the more deep interaction, like what Patrick's talking about, the more likely that we're going to pull them into the program and get them productive. But it's not just them wanting to make us happy. We want to make them happy. We want them to see results. Like, I mean, I'm so excited to see these people next 2 weeks and just talk to them and eat with them and chat with them and say, look, here's what all is going on. I'm trying to get that feeling across that we are getting across to people so that you can in turn do the same thing. I want to hear from you again, Hannah, also, but let me tell you all this. We are blitzing these cities for leads right now. We're getting ready to drop in Detroit, Michigan, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Winston-Salem to Raleigh. We're going to light that area up with leads. Orlando, Tampa, and Jacksonville, Florida, we're going to light up with leads. Pinellas County, which is right here, we're going to light it up with leads. Atlantic City, New Jersey, and Houston, Texas, we're going to start creating leads. More leads than we ever have. If there's a place you live and you know that you and your friends could take more leads and print more money, you'd have more money to pay for social media, and all you're doing is talking to quality candidates. So you're talking about what, 2 more sales a week that you could afford to do this. So if there's other cities, I'm wondering about Dallas. I'm wondering about Reno, Nevada. So if you're in Reno or Dallas or other places that you feel like you guys could use more leads in that surrounding 2 or 3 counties, let us know, because we are looking to invest. Hannah, what else about our recruiting strategies that you think it's critical people hear or reiterate?
I would just reiterate that I think it's bizarre to me that literally our motto is to have fun, make money, and make a difference. And I think it's bizarre that we get tracked in like the numbers. Like Patrick and I have talked, and it is frustrating when somebody's not going fast enough. But when we take our eyes and we put it on that goal, trying to get them through class, and that's where our focus is, we lose sight of being friends with them. And it's funny because when we flip and we're just talking about guys that are having root canals, and Kenzie's moving apartments and she's showing me her move and all this stuff, like when we're invested in who they are as a person, it's opposite. It's like honey, and it attracts them in closer, and now they're getting through so much quicker. So I think it's just like realigning that our number one goal is to have fun, and it is a ton of fun. It's a ton of work, but when you focus on making friends and sharing the opportunity, I think one good person who's really good about that, who just talked on Wednesday, was Belle Krause. Like, I can't meet anybody who doesn't love Belle Krause, and she is really good about those relationships. And so when that's our focus, when we keep our mindset there, we know that the growth is bound to happen. We had to have the faith, Andy, that when we started up the campaign, that people were going to respond back. We had to have the faith that once you sent your phone number, people are going to text you. And it's weird how the floodgates just open. So it's a lot of fun. I think it's made, I mean, shoot, I'm grateful because I feel like my job has become so much more fun. Jess and I have a lot of fun together, traveling and all that stuff. So I don't know. I would encourage, like, I would do it for the fun of it. That's probably the otter in me. I would do it for the fun of it because it's a lot of fun. Lion in me is like, I would do it for the money, but there's something in it for everybody. And it's really cool just to have that network. I now can say I have friends. I got to see Kenzie in Houston. I got to see Angela in Denver. I can now say that I have friends, and I'm just excited to get back I'm excited about the honeymoon. I'm excited to get back though, just to continue to say, hey, I'm building friendships all over the country. I don't know what other industry or business outside of the Alliance allows you to do that. So
that's so true. I'm wanting to turn it on because I'm wanting to start talking to more people. I just do not want to lose what we got in these others. And it is crazy, the fun, different people that we're meeting and connecting with. Also, we've also going to turn leads on in Atlanta and Nashville. I got texts asking, and I already sent the message. Yes, let's crank those up too. Okay, so Toom says, I'm ready, let me know. So I'm thinking we look at who's committed, and I think maybe we'll get him in a couple cities because I think we could get this guy. I can pull him in, and he would be recruiting for us the next 2 months instead of wasting his time in that other deal. Yeah, no?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope this is helpful to everybody. I know we've created a lot more questions. Shoot them to me and Hannah and Patrick and Jess, and we will do our best. And the 5 that we already committed, Jessica, are we making massive progress with them?
Working on it. So we're getting their assistants together, matching them with the clients now.
Their assistants?
So basically the people that are producing this content and creating it, we manage it, but they're making it. So we're getting those people matched to their businesses accounts are going to run.
I want to send me the Instagrams of the people that we're doing it for so that I can create the script that's going out. To give you different scripts, and so that the people that's sending the scripts have them.
Will do.
Detroit. I think Detroit's on the list too. Let me make sure. Detroit, Michigan. All right. So we're cranking up the leads. Recruiting's going crazy. We had the best sales day yesterday. It was unbelievable, the number of sales. So get yours. Don't miss out on the opportunity. And give me that updated spreadsheet, Hannah, please. And let's all right, we'll probably touch. I know you're out, so me and Patrick will probably jump on it. We might pull another one of them in. All right, thank y'all. Thank you, Jess, so much. Keep up the great work. Good to see y'all.
Thank you.